So this is going to be a bit of an informal video. I just needed to make this real quick because I was about to start making some backlog videos to be posted while I'm away for the next 2.5 weeks in Puerto Rico. But I thought I needed to address this first because of, where I live and what I've talked about previously on this channel. Even though I don't like talking about things like this, but however, let's just get into it real quick. A week ago, a man drove up from the border of New York and Pennsylvania to Buffalo and took the lives of 13 people at a top supermarket about 5 miles away from my house, where I live. I've made it pretty clear in my previous videos over the past 2 years that I live in Buffalo. I'm from all the Buffalo talk I have had, and I wanted to just start making videos again, and I thought addressing this starting to make videos without addressing this would be a bit of an issue. So I want to just talk about it real quick because as someone who, I wasn't here when it happened. I was up about 2 hours away from my girlfriend's graduation, and I found out because the Sabres and Bills Instagram accounts posted something saying that they were standing with the victims and their families and things like that. And I read that after following the graduation. I was like, what happened? And I read it. I googled it and I found out what happened, and it was still a developing story at the time. But yeah, I knew immediately the place that it was talking about. I've passed it plenty of times. I know it intimately. I know that area intimately, and yeah, it's crazy. Like, because I've always felt like, these mass shootings are tragedies, and when I hear about them, I always feel for the families and the victims and everyone that, and I always hate the people who did it, but it's always kind of a disconnect when it's so far away from you. And the fact with how close it was, and that I knew the area, like, without even having to look it up, I knew what we were talking about. It just kind of got a lot more real, a lot more personal than when you just hear on the news about the most recent tragedy, this and that. Because, there's always going to be tragedies, and you hear about them all the time. It's from when you're little, and just it being so close was just something else totally different. When I got back home from the graduation that night, the next day it was still kind of surreal. And then on Monday, there was people posting things, or maybe it was on Sunday, I don't remember, but I think it was Monday. People made a posts on Twitter and things like that, saying they were targeting Tops and Sam's Clubs and other stores that were across the street from my old high school, like not even 2 miles away from my house. My old high school I still go and coach at, and saying those were the places they're hitting up and that they're targeting blacks specifically. Whether it was a troll or not, there were arrests made for that, and it just made another whole weird thing, whereas every store in the town was closed immediately, like the rest of the day. I had gone to a Dollar General earlier that day, and someone I knew went back to that same Dollar General a couple hours later, and they were closed under fear of them being the next target. And it was terrifying, honestly. Like, I wanted to go out and hang out. It was a nice day, and I couldn't do it. No one else wanted to go out. People pulled their kids from school for the next day, and it was just like there was like this air of fear and disgust hanging over, at least from my personal perspective, where I went, and the mass groups of people I saw. The next few days, there was just a weird feeling in the air, weird atmosphere around the areas after that. It was especially weird because I work at a store similar to Tops. I won't go into specifics, but I work at a similar store to Tops, where it's like, yeah, you always have those ideas of like, oh, I want to imagine the store being robbed, or someone being attacked in the store, and you wanted to come in and be like the hero and want to step in. We're like, it just doesn't happen that way, and and the cold reality was really shown to me on Monday after those second threats. Someone found the video from the Twitch VOD of the guy and posted it all over all their social medias, and I couldn't avoid it. So yeah, I saw it, and it was disgusting. It was despicable. It made me probably the most angry and just hateful towards a person that I've ever been. Like, I know I've had some disagreements with people, but like watching that made me just like hate them, because it was just so easy. Like the way, I don't want to get grim, but it was terrible. And I was like, I'm getting angry now, and I had to try to like hold it in because there was we went out and tried to ignore it, watch like the solar eclipse or lunar eclipse, whatever one it was, solar or lunar eclipse, and we were just in there stewing on it like it was evil, it was despicable, and it just left it still makes me upset and angry almost a week later. So I just wanted to address that before I started putting out any more like, football related content, something like that, especially because of the area in which I am. If you can donate to the proceeds, or donate to the things that are giving proceeds to the families, and it's just been really tough being a part of Buffalo right now. It's a city I love and I'm very proud of, and it just hurts. It was definitely a feeling of hurt and anger. But I just needed to get that out there, so it didn't go unrecognized.